division, and then job, auditing job came up here in Austin, and I applied for it and got it. So made the move from small town to big city, but I lived up in Norman in Oklahoma City area whenever I was going, so it wasn't a real big shock to the system.
Yep. Oh, good. Good. When did you leave here?
2001. 2001. December.
Wow.
I
saw your name pop up and it's like, that can't be. Very cool.
I got my, like I said, I got my D-Star portable program. So, but the repeater is too far up to the north, so I have to go outside and talk on it.
Ah, good. Well, you can get on it. That's good.
I can get on it.
That's good. I don't know anything about Austin's repeaters. I remember driving through there with a radio one time and getting all the unused radio repeaters and then got nothing.
Yeah. There's one here that I'm on right now, the 5.11, 145.110. It's connected to the WinLink system.
Oh, cool.
System, so I get on there.
Cool. There's Robert Clinton, KD5CAE. He's got an OU schooner thing, so he can't be a foe.
Yeah, I don't have a horns or anything on on the wall, but this is the first time I've dropped in on your meeting.
Well, welcome. Where you at? Where you from?
I'm from Norman.
Oh.
I live here in Norman, and over on the west side of, over 10 mile flats, over kind of near 72nd and Tecumseh Road. And cool. I just passed my general test yesterday online. Actually Sunday online through
with
the
LA
Los Angeles group.
Yeah.
And boy, they have quite a setup for that. I passed my technician license 23 years ago and never really used it, other than I was involved in search and rescue, and I used it a little bit to communicate with a couple of ham groups that helped us, and then that was it. And then I never used it again. So I'm just now getting back into it. So,
well, glad you did. We'll tell you how to set up your station, and we'll tell you how to do it all wrong, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do
I've got lots of questions. My next step is to order radios. So
yeah, John, the guy that's below you on my screen, John Jeitz, just passed his test Thursday night to get him a tech. What'd you get, tech or tech general?
Got tech. I tested for a general and I missed it by 3.
That's right. You were this close.
Right.
This close.
I was excited and disappointed at the same time. Oh well.
That's good.
Did you do the online testing with?
No, I did on site at the fire station there at 7.
Oh.
We run Thursday nights. We run the tests here.
Yeah.
Or first Thursday. We had 3. I guess there were 3.
Yep, 3.
3 people that came and got technician, and John was really close, and the guy was just a little bit farther away on getting general, and there was a third that was way far away, but he knew what to go look for next time.
So
did you
get
the radio going, John? Are you talking yet?
I've actually got I had excuse me. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've got a Bofeng BF HP8 that I on with yesterday, and I got my neighbor on it on a simplex. It was my first contact, and then I tried today to get some repeaters up in Oklahoma City, and I'm talking, but either no one was listening or I was talking wrong.
Well, could be, or that's a little bit weak to get all the way up there without a bigger antenna.
Well, I was up there. I was up there by 6 and 10.
Whoa.
I tried to get down here on my way back home, and that didn't work either. So I've got to go back and reprogram it and try to figure out where I did wrong.
That's the name of the game these days. You don't just turn on a radio.
Right. Now, I did have a question. What is that? The CCTS, the code.
Yep.
On our it's got the option on my radio to do both the transceiving and
Tone. Yeah, you want to be it on transmitting is what you want to put it. It's called CTCSS tone. Is typically what it's called.
Okay. Well, I'm going to probably toy around with that while this meeting's going, and hopefully I can pop on the repeater here in a few minutes.
I'm sure somebody here will have a radio on.
Okay.
I didn't bring one in here today, but I guess.
Also, I'm very close to getting a mobile rig up and running in my car.
Good.
I just got to order some wiring or the antenna mount and some runners tomorrow.
Did you figure something out? I know we gave you some help on Facebook. I didn't know if you picked.
Yeah, that's actually where I got I've been very blessed with this group. I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. He got me his radio and antenna, and all I needed was the harness to go, power harness, and then the mount and the runners, and I'm ordering those tomorrow.
Cool.
So it's just a matter of wiring up my car. I'm not gonna do a hard install on it because I'll be hopefully changing vehicles in about 6 months or so.
That's what we all say.
Right. So hopefully I can get that up and running by the weekend, and I'll be good to go.
What power wattage or what wattage is on that mobile you got?
The mobile, I'd have to go check. It's still in my car.
What's the radio? What's the radio?
It's a Kenwood. I can tell you real quick. Give me 1 second. It is a
the suspense.
no,
Exactly.
right? It's killing me. I'm going through. I've done. You can tell I've troubleshooted quite a bit because my history browser is full of radio stuff.
Yeah, we're all there. We're all there with you.
Well, I mean, what a day and age to get into it, though.
It is.
It's unlimited, sometimes good and sometimes very bad knowledge. But it's a Kenwood TMG 707.
Never heard of it. Anybody heard of it?
What was the model?
The TMG 707.
Yeah, dual band.
Yeah, the dual band. Yep.
Yeah, I remember those. It's not a current radio, but it's a fine radio.
How many wattage? How many powers?
It's a usual dual band, 40, 50
25.
watts.
Oh, really?
TMG
That ought to do you some good.
707. It seems like it had a very similar front panel as the D710, the one that had the APRS in it. It just didn't have the APRS in it, if I'm thinking right.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I couldn't get my audio to work. I'm like, what the heck?
We liked it better that way.
Oh.
You have the power to mute me.
I
I'll
have
do
the
it.
ability. I don't have the sense to do that. We can hear you now, brother.
Sorry, didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
No.
Sitting on the front porch watching the storms roll in.
Is it raining yet?
It
Yes.
ain't raining here yet.
It is
Temperatures
here.
dropped to 66.
So Mark, you're in Moore or South Oklahoma City?
South Oklahoma City, technically, and temperature dropped from 88 to 65 in about 2 minutes.
Ooh.
And it has started raining right behind it.
Woof.
What's it doing up there, Mike, up your way?
Snow.
No, not yet. We're gonna be in the 50s and 60s this week, and it's gonna be rainy until Thursday, Friday, and it'll be sunny then.
You betcha.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you sending all that cold weather to us down here.
No, we don't.
I believe you're gonna be colder than we are tonight, right?
Yep.
Somebody said 30s?
Start the electric blanket.
Out in the panhandle.
The panhandle is. The wind chills here will be in the 40s tonight.
Oh, electric blanket won't help wind chill. Just cold temps. Close your windows.
Yeah. Put on the tinfoil.
Used all the tinfoil as a hat.
Mhm.
Good way to
Well,
start.
I got out there this morning while it was fairly cool before it started warming up today, and moved my antenna mark,
Yay.
and I did an inverted V on the roof.
Yay.
We'll see how that works.
So what's that one cut for? I forgot what you cut that for.
Now that one was pre-made. I bought it that way. It's an in-feed antenna, and I was trying to think it was either 36 or 38 feet, something like that long.
Did you talk to anybody yet?
No, but I picked up people from all different places, both on 20 and 40. I wrote down all the different calls I'd picked up. I mean, it was everywhere, coast to coast. But where I had it, but that was down where I had it before, running from the house out to the fence out back. And so I haven't really tried it much yet on the way it is up there on the roof.
Well, fire it up. Let's see if it
How do you
might get
have
hear you
that
up in
attached
Michigan.
to your roof? Is it laying on the roof, or you just attached it and pulled out?
Well, it's basically at
Right.
one end of the roof on the back. The whole back is kind of at a 35, 40 degree angle. And it's got two non-metal vents at the top, side by side. And so I ran it from one corner at the back up and over those two vents and down the other side to the other corner. And then off the roof there and come around to the side of the house where it came in the window here where my shack is. And I did all of that without adding any extra cables to it. It's direct, basically coming in to the radio.
How much coax was on that? 25 or so?
Yeah, something like that, 25 feet or so.
Hi, kids.
Hey. So we'll see how it works. I'll try for this week while it's raining, see how it works up there. And then if it doesn't work as well as I had it before, I'll put it back where I had it.
Good deal.
Hey, Randy,
Yeah.
we may get rained out.
No.
Okay.
Shit still goes bang in the rain.
All right. I'm good. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, no. And I went out today and put about 200 rounds through it, and from 7 to 15 yards, and no problem. But I want to use the timer tomorrow.
Okay. Not a problem. I'm good to go. I don't care if it's raining or not.
I don't either.
All right.
Yeah. Sugar's the only thing that melts.
Do it.
Sugar's the only thing that melts in the rain.
Well, that's why I stay out.
Salt does.
So Robert, what kind of antenna are you looking to put up?
What kind of what? I didn't hear that.
Antenna.
Well, that's going to depend on probably the radio I get for the house will depend on the antenna I can put up. Got quite a bit of room out here, but but it's just a matter of pleasing my spouse in terms of how it looks. You know, she's particular about the house. So I don't know what kind of antenna yet I'm going to put up, but
Gee, I was going to suggest a horse fence.
I thought about one of those flagpole things, and then I thought, well, when I was reading,
Out
they don't
there?
have a
Oh,
great
come on.
reputation.
You got to
but-
do better than that out there in the flats. Your
Yeah.
neighbor just popped on here, old Carl. I don't see him there, but he might be hiding in the weeds.
Yeah, he may live like 2 doors down from me.
He's 72nd in Tecumseh also. And I
Yep,
don't know
yep.
where you are.
Okay,
from
I know
him.
who that is. I don't know him, but I know who that is.
That's Carl.
He's like 2 doors down from me,
Is he?
just to the north.
You guys need to get into a antenna war is what you need to
Mm.
do.
Yeah. Run a lot of coax over to his antenna.
That's not a bad idea.
Ooh.
That's not a bad idea.
Huh.
Planning to put up a bunch of stuff, so that might be a good thing. Is just figure out where his feed point is and grab into it. Borrow a cup of antenna. Well, cool.
Is anybody familiar with a Comet CHV5X?
CHB.
I was talking to a guy today. He's got one mounted in his attic, and he's talking to Argentina and all over the place from South Carolina.
CHV.
It's a CHV Charlie Henry Victor 5 X-ray.
Rotatable dipole.
Huh.
Yeah,
He
he
so
was
much
just
cool new stuff every time you come here.
he doesn't have it on a rotator. He says it's got a pretty good wingspan. His attic's not big enough to to really rotate very much, but
40 through 6 meters. Comet's got good stuff. I wouldn't be afraid of that.
What was it? CHV what?
5 X-ray.
5. Oh, okay.
yeah, it shows it as 6, 10, 15, 20, and 40 meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 through 40 is what it shows.
You don't have any of that aluminum stuff on your roof, do you?
Yeah, this guy
Insulation.
was, we're always talking about HOAs. This guy's the vice president of his HOA. So he said, I've got to be particularly careful. But
When you put something like that inside your roof, how far away from people do you need to be?
People that you like, or just people?
Yeah, people you don't want to fry. But like myself, for example, my roof is kind of on my same level. I could go a little bit higher.
If you're under 100 watts, I wouldn't worry about it.
Wouldn't worry about it.
Wouldn't worry about it. Okay.
No.
yeah, you start
'Cause
pushing.
I've got a big roof. I could probably fit something like that in it.
The
No, if
problem
you-
is you get so much in-house noise when you listen to it. When you have an antenna in the roof or in the attic, you hear a lot of stuff in the house.
Like your
And,
doorbell transformer and
yeah,
all kinds of weird stuff.
yeah. That just
Garage
getting it
door
outside,
openers.
getting it 10
Gordon,
feet.
check your chat.
Do what?
Gordon, check your chat.
Me? Whoa.
Putting them in the attic is kind of, anything outside the attic is better than anything inside the attic. Is probably the easiest way to say
I
it.
do have one place on the roof that used to have a kind of a microwave antenna that when I was using we don't get coax cable out here, so it was an antenna. It was about a 3-foot high antenna, but that antenna's gone. The base is still there, and I could probably mount something right there, and it'd be pretty high up. That roof is 40 feet high, so
Wow.
Yeah, anything outside's better. They've got something called the vent antenna that I have on my screen right now, and it comes out you come out your vent pipe, and you
Yeah.
just stack it on top of there, and it looks like a really long vent pipe. And they've got vertical methods, and they've even got dipoles that come up with that piece that if you want to sneak one in there. But you don't have the HOA problem, you have the wife problem. And the HOA,
Right. No, I'm not in the HOA.
yeah. And you can do one of those vent antennas, and you had talked about the flagpole antenna, and that's a gray line performance antenna. And the only thing I can say bad about them is they cost money.
Yeah.
One of our guys moved to South Texas, and he's putting one of these up. He's putting, I think, a 26 or 28 footer. I think he's putting a 28 foot up. That's supposed to be really, really good antenna. But they're about $1,400 by the time you're done. But you can put a little antenna tuner outside on it, and they do a good job.
Linda just gave me a heads up that Doug Forsyth died last night.
No.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Man.
Bummer.
Wow.
Not surprised, but
no, I'm surprised he lasted this long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am too.
Wow.
They had a family get together sort of here, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or so. I saw some pictures from it where the daughters and the son was there. I hate to hear that.
For those of you who don't know, he's suffered with throat cancer for quite some time.
Oh, he had a couple different cancers.
Yeah, that's true.
He had colon cancer. He had I forget what the other one was. I think it got into his liver, which I'm sure is finally what killed him. He's responsible for all the radio stuff we have at the Weather Center. Because he was deputy director of NSSL when the building was built. There he is. He's also he founded the museum, the National Weather Museum.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
He also he and Bob Staples basically built the Weather Center, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Supervisor construction.
Pretty much. Yep.
I'm surprised that Bob Staples just had a birthday the other day. And I'm surprised that, what is he, about 90?
90, 110, something like that.
Something like that.
He'll still beat your ass.
I'm not testing him.
He was a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's don't delve too long on age.
It's just a number, baby. It's just a number.
Bob, just one more thing, Bill. Bob Staples was in a marathon, half marathon, 5K or something. Dropped dead.
Yes, I know.
Dropped dead. Somebody did CPR on him. He kept on working.
No, I knew the guy who, well, you know the guy who did CPR, Mark. Bob. What was his last name? Worked for the post office.
Bob. Bob. Lee.
Bob Lee. He did CPR on him. It's the only time I've ever known somebody who dropped dead and knew the guy that came back and resuscitated him.
Yep.
Let me tell you, it works. It works. I had a bunch of people over the years that when I came in, that somebody had done CPR on them immediately, that we had an excellent save rate with.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Peter can attest to that too.
Yep.
What kind of CPR did you do? Did you do the, they're not doing the breathing now. They're just doing the pumping.
Anything where you're moving blood is good. If you breathe for them, it's better.
Yeah, That's about what it is.
Yeah,
Like I
they
said about an
quit,
antenna
they
in the
quit
attic.
teaching the breathing for them because everybody had, oh, I'll get their cooties,
Oh, yeah. Well, that was when what was it? AIDS or something was going around.
Yep. Herpes.
I've had people vomit in my mouth. You spit it out and you go back.
Tuna salad.
Oh, yeah, Mexican. Jesus.
Tuna salad was the worst I ever had.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's what, three of you paramedics on here. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's people don't realize some of the stuff. We could get together and have a hell of a time. Yes, Peter, we could.
Didn't affect me at all. No.
How many 82s did you ever work and then go have breakfast?
Oh yeah, that was part of the job though.
Yeah. Get a good signal 30 and go have breakfast.
Still can't eat tuna salad.
Oh, I never could. With bacon and eggs and hash browns every day.
And always order toast. So if you get a call, you can throw it all on the bread and eat it on the way to a rig.
Make a big sandwich.
Make a big sandwich.
Yeah.
Funny you should say that, Sam. I saw some EMTs this weekend. They went through a drive-through, grabbed their food, went around the building. As they were coming out, the driver was actually holding a drink in one hand and a sandwich in the other, using his arms and elbows to drive the ambulance as with his lights on.
I wouldn't know about anything like that. Never.
No.
That's unacceptable.
That would be an unsafe practice.
Yeah, that's totally unacceptable. Yeah.
But I would call that a quick meal.
We used to joke we made 3 calls a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
As soon as it was set down in front of us, the phone would ring.
God. You know something, guys. I just turned 71, and I still miss those days every single day.
I just turned 57. I don't miss them at all.
Really? Honestly. Oh man.
I don't know how I would answer that question. I will say I think it was some of the best years of my life, and
yeah,
I
think that's the most alive I've ever felt doing anything. I mean, it's one of those jobs that you can have the highest highs and the lowest lows in the same hour.
Does going through a typhoon in the Pacific count for anything?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little less if you're on a ship, but yes.
I've done that too.
That's the most insignificant I've ever felt.
I bet.
Yeah, I went through a hurricane in an aircraft carrier and felt like we were just we could have been a little rowboat or something,
We were only 306 feet long.
Yeah.
Only.
What was that? That's 300.
DER.
What was that ship, Bill?
A DER, destroyer escort.
That's what we call a football field around here, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, there's Peter's picture, his bus picture.
My bus picture, that's exactly right.
But that's a picture of it back there.
Oh, yeah? Look at that.
Oh, I lost track of it. Where'd it go? Oh, behind your head there. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, there it is.
Where'd you go? Oh, okay.
So who else needs an antenna built or some wise sage advice that we can all disagree on?
Hey, well, you can tell me how many radios to put down on my vertical.
Radials or radios?
Radials. Radials.
Well, they're the same, right? Radials and radios. You can't have enough of either.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
16 is plenty.
32 is better.
DX Engineering is making the 5BTV now.
Oh, they're
And
making it?
their manual for it is completely different from when Hustler
Yeah.
did the manual. They,
Yeah.
they don't want you to zigzag the radials. They need to be straight, and they need to be in the 360-degree orientation from the antenna. Just make them as long as you can. If there's a building close by, then don't make it too long in that direction. Anyway, the manual varies quite a bit from the old Hustler manual.
Huh. Well, I noticed they charge about $8 for the manual. I was going to read it online, but I was foiled.
Huh.
They're also still making that vertical that Peanut put up here the other day. Penetrator 500. They're $179.
Is Hustler doing that or DX?
DX Engineering.
Okay.
Okay, Bill, here's the chart. Some really bored guy in England, and I can't remember what it was, where he was, but somewhere in Gordon's home country. It's all the same. You probably knew him, Gordon. But he put down radials in his garden.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's no fun.
Yeah, exactly. And he put down one radial and measured his frequency, and it started flattening out over time. One set of 4 radials. Each one of these is 4 radials. So he had one, and then he had 4, 8, 12, and 16 is when it starts to flatten out. And you can see that at 20, it's pretty much flat. It doesn't go anywhere from there. It just keeps on going.
Is that SWR?
That's frequency change. It's the change in frequency, but yeah, it's sort of, he was using it as that. But basically it flattened out. Once you get to more radials, it just doesn't help. Generally, everybody says 16 is a good place to stop. And
well, the AM, commercial AM uses 120, don't they?
Right. But they do that because they were mandated to by the FCC.
Okay.
And I think that's a power dissipation problem too, if I remember right.
Okay.
Because
yeah, it probably is.
They're dissipating power into that.
Okay, I see that's on your little website.
Yeah.
Antennas, radials.
Yeah. And
is there anything that isn't on that website?
Now, if it's not, it'll be there tomorrow if you come up with a good idea.
Good job.
Look at Brent. What do you got a picture of there, Brett? Is that a fire picture or EMT?
And mine is the first 8 paramedics in the state of Oklahoma.
Volunteer fire department. Chillicothe, probably Ohio.
Texas.
Not my story's better.
And see, I used to have darker hair.
That was last week, wasn't it, Lee?
Yeah, just last week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran out of that stuff you put in your beard. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Which one was you there, Lee?
Pardon me?
Which one's you?
The guy on the far right.
Back when I was in EMS, all the pictures were on this this Mylar stuff or whatever, and I don't have any electronic I can.
Well, this was a photograph that I scanned.
Wait. The far right's a girl, right?
That's the left.
Well, here it's the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The shorter one.
You're the one with the beard, not the one with the long hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There you go. It's flipped here, but that's all right.
You haven't changed a bit, Lee, except for the color of your hair.
Yeah, we were the first 8 in the state of That was 1978.
Oh, I was close. I was thinking 1908, but that's about right.
Thank you, Philip.
I was just getting out of high school then.
We had fought for 2.5 years going to the legislature 2 and 3 times a week, talking to people, trying to get a paramedic practice act. I'd already been a paramedic for almost 3 years in Atlanta before I moved out here. And Oklahoma had no paramedics at that time.
That's
And,
about the time
hey,
I got my EMT.
You what?
About the same time I got my EMT, and we didn't have paramedics for another, gosh,
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
You didn't need them over there in Kentucky.
And I congratulated the guys at Norman Regional for MSTAT. They just celebrated their 25th year of MSTAT being the service. They left out of the police department here, I was in the police department, and went into a private hospital.
At least in Kentucky, it was kind of strange. The places that got paramedics first were the big cities, where you got hospitals every 2 miles, and the last places to get them were the rural areas where you had an hour travel time to get to a hospital.
That's the way it was so many other places, and it should have been just the opposite.
Somebody's got an echo.
You what?
Somebody's got an echo.
An echo. But yeah, anyway, it was good times.
Where's Ron? There's Ken.
I got an antenna question.
You got an antenna question? You go ahead. Brett's going to get it all answered for you. I can feel this.
Yeah, I'm going to stir everything up here. So I've been mapping out in my backyard where I'm going to put up my G5 RV. And I'm going to have a push-up pole, and it's going to end up being about 45 feet in the air. So one question I have is trying to figure the distance away from my pole where I should put my guy posts. Now, even though I have a big backyard, I'm kind of limited on what I can do because I don't want to get in the top of my septic lines. So what's a good distance? Can you go 30 feet? You need more than that?
How tall?
How tall? About 45 foot.
30 should be good. 45 foot would get you a 45-degree angle. So 30 should be good.
I know that more is better because, you know, the more angle.
Yeah.
But, you know, there comes a certain limitation. And I'm going to put 3 of them up at 120 degrees.
Yep. 25, 30 feet should work.
Yeah.
Okay. So then my second question is, I'm trying to determine what type of rope to use for my guy lines. Now, I know that in the past I've used regular old nylon rope, and that's a bunch of crap because it failed within a year. The sun just ate it up. So what's a good type of rope to use for guys?
They make a lot of rope that is UV resistant and doesn't stretch, and that'll be guy wire. In fact, they make it for guy wire.
Okay, so I understand that build, but are we talking polypropylene? Are we talking what?
Here's some right here. If you can read it, I have it upside down.
Polypropylene have a sister, Cindy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coax Man has a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, he does. And I've used it pretty well on dipoles. I'm not sure about for guying something, but.
Oh, it's the same thing. Same answer.
Yeah, just make sure it's a braid.
Yeah.
I just put.
I do know that. I do know you want to go with diamond braids. So
yeah,
I have read that somewhere because it'll.
Wayne, I just put a link in the chat to Roan's page. They still sell a push-up pole, and in their extensive PDF directions, it looks like they have advice on guying in terms of distance and stuff.
That's a pretty good document. Interesting.
That's the same pole that Ed has.
This stuff is called Mastrant, Mastrant.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
.com. And it's a synthetic guy rope. It doesn't stretch, and it's UV resistant.
What was that called? Mass, M-A-S-S?
Mastrant.
Mast, Mastrant, all one word.
I hope they have a YouTube channel where there's a guy on there yelling about antennas and masts.
I don't know.
It should, with a name like Mastrant.
You know, this Ron,
They are.
it's very similar to what I got. So the push-up pole that I got, it's 36 foot tall. I actually bought it from Radio Shack probably 30 years ago, maybe.
I got one of them.
So it's a metal one and not a plastic one, right?
Correct.
Or fiberglass or something like that.
No, it's a metal one.
Okay. You're probably going to have a standoff on top for your D5 RV.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do on the very top. I'm going to come off the top of it with some inch and a quarter PVC and then turn a 90-degree angle and stand off about, I don't know, 12 inches, I guess. That's another thing I have to do is build standoffs for the ladder line. Am I correct? You don't want that flapping around.
Right. 6 inches off the metal.
6 inches? I was going to go 12, but I mean.
No, 6.
Go
4 to
12.
6. 4 to 6 is what they say. 6 is fine.
6.
And twist it a half turn every so many feet.
I did.
Give it a little twist.
I did read about somebody saying you should twist it.
Yeah, that's to make more wind resistant.
Yep.
Is it what it is? I thought maybe it was to try to cancel out any.
Nope.
No, it would just has to do with the wind.
Okay.
And we have enough wind around here.
Don't tell
Hey,
me.
speak for yourself.
Tuesday nights on Zoom, usually.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd work.
Since we're still talking antennas, here is a radio plate I made.
It's a radio pan.
It looks like a bad breakfast.
Got that right. It's a radio skillet. Aluminum skillet. And I made a radio plate out of it.
That's a real good idea, Bill.
One I was going to throw away.
Shoot me a picture of that. That'd be a good thing to put on the internets because that's a really cool idea.
Okay.
And what do you use that for, Bill?
Attach my radios to. Radios, not radios, radios.
Radial plate. You just got to make sure you use some antiox. So if you got dissimilar metals there, the copper wire versus the aluminum thing.
Well, I'm going to attach them with a round eye thing.
Oh, okay.
So that shouldn't same aluminum on that eye. So
You have to climb your pole and slide that down over the top of it.
yeah. Actually, my pole's down right now.
You shinny up it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be personal, but you know.
Okay, breaking this thing, I'm going to ask everybody here, what is your opinions about having a meeting in person or virtual?
I like in person.
In person?
Yeah.
Anybody else in person?
Yeah, I like them in person, but.
Okay. I'll tell you what, show of hands, how many for virtual? 2, 3.
I have an electronic hand.
Yeah.
Electronic hand? Yeah. And so, okay, I only had 4 people that showed their hands. So I see your electronic hand. and your electronic hand. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are sick.
Born on this whole.
Well, that's all right. Bill and I'll go like this. How's that?
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, what we're trying to figure out, and Galen's not on here, but Galen had offered a place that he thought we could have up in Moore, or he had an option of a couple of places. And Larry Goodwin also came up with a place on Highway 9 West, out past the casino, that we could have available to us if our mayor decides that she wants to lock everything down. Now, I don't know if she's going to. She's talking about mostly Campus Corner stuff, and everything else. So they're having their meeting now. So I'll find out in a little while just exactly what the city's plans are. If the city's plans are not going to affect us, then we can go ahead and continue on here at Fire Station 7.
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
I think wherever we have it, it should have the AV capability so it can have it both in person and virtual.
Yeah,
exactly.
Both ways.
Yeah, I definitely want to make it so that wherever it would be, we still have the capability of doing Zoom and the other AV, qualities that we have at Station 7.
And I also think we ought to maybe even require masks. I mean, for those.
Oh yeah, I mean, that
we had before.
If it's a city facility, we have no choice.
Right.
If it's another facility somewhere else, then it's whatever they dictate at that facility. Look, I've said this so many times, I'm getting tired of myself saying it. But everybody here is adults. They need to make decisions for themselves as to what they want to do, and do it. What makes them feel the most comfortable. I don't ever want to make a decision for somebody else as far as that's concerned. It's just not right. And there are people that are ready to throw the mask, and be like in the 70s where the women were burning their bras. They want to burn the mask. So I don't know. CDC comes out and says one thing last week, that all of this, they had been way off on the numbers, and only 6% was the true number for COVID. Anymore, guys. God, it's a scary world out there. If that's true and it's actually less than 10,000.
It's not. That's just how you frame it. But
well, no, I'm taking CDC's own stuff. The rest of it was collateral.
We only had 11 people show up at the last meeting. Is the bottom line.
Yeah, the last meeting was what, 19?
In building, I think it was 11, something like that, 12.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Well, I will say I drive all the way from Piedmont, and I like the option that if I get up late, I can do the online. I don't care when it is, but
Yeah, but next time put some clothes on.
Well,
just pants. That's all we require.
Well, virtual would be all right if.
Lee, I want my name tags.
Got it.
You got to get together to do it.
Here, you want it?
I want you to go to the meeting so I can get my auto tuner back.
Yeah, it's sitting right here.
Got to get together to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Bill.
what I like about
I got it virtually.
There it is, right there.
Virtually, okay.
Want you to know it really is alive.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the Elmer night at meeting place, where everybody got together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like I think if we go virtual on the meeting, a lot of it depends on the program, I think.
We already told you that.
Programs are,
Bill, we already told you the program.
Yeah.
well,
All right. Riley, stay.
That must be Bill Skillet.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? What happened to Peter?
My audio is goofy. I don't know what's going on.
There's Peter.
No, we're
Peter,
hearing you. That's
Peter,
not.
would you tell Bill Lockett officially from your lips to his ears what our official
Sirens.
yeah. Is that you're going to take the whole 45 minutes for that?
I've been budgeted an hour and a half, and I may go over.
Oh, okay.
We gave him a
All
lunch
right.
break.
Well, never mind.
It's not going to be
Gave him
that
a lunch
long.
break. Anybody doing? Is anybody setting up for or trying to do Route 66 on the air? Has anybody gone?
I haven't.
Plan to.
It starts what, Sunday or Saturday or
Saturday.
Saturday.
The 12th.
Anybody want to be a present or a
Run the station.
yeah.
What do you call that?
Yeah.
Special event? No, not me. I might try to work them though, because I got nothing else to do. So
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City folks has extended the range to include us fine folks in Norman, and if we want to be involved with that, they will be happy to let us do times and do some transmitting.
What are we, K this year?
Yep.
We K every year?
Yep.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Yep.
They've added Stroud this year and taken Elk City off.
Does Kay know that we're using her?
W6K.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on this weekend, Mr. Mark.
Oh
Yes,
man,
I've been watching on the radar.
You got that Route 66. You got the Edmond ham swap meet Saturday.
Oh,
Oh, is that this Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, it is.
It sure is. And also Saturday, we got our club meeting. So we got the club meeting.
Oh, okay.
And the
that thing.
football game.
So we got those three things right there all at the same time.
But the Edmund swap meet was last weekend.
No, it's the 12th.
This weekend.
Yeah, last weekend was the VHF Rovers. Did anybody do that?
I did not.
Oh, the VHF contest is this weekend.
The Rovers?
That's
September. Yeah, it's this weekend.
So you got that too. So there's 4 items.
And the Tapper DCC conference is this weekend, which I'm going to attend
Oh,
virtually.
Is that this weekend?
Yep. Well, Friday and Saturday anyway. It's on Zoom. So yay.
Whoopie doo.
Yeah, that's 12th and 13th is that deal. But Harold was Lee Harold was wanting to do that Route 66 last year. I don't know if he's been poked. I don't know if he has, but if you talk to old Harold,
I haven't talked to him.
Weird Harold.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him over a week. I know that. So.
Oh my, that's not good.
Hey, it's not.
He
It's not
was
my
on the
turn.
net this morning.
It's not my turn.
Well, if anybody sees him, remind him that it's up there, and he was wanting to do some special event station stuff out of that last year.
Okay.
Well, he was on the net this morning.
There you go.
Hey, Gary, you snuck in. How are you, sir?
I did not sneak. I showed up and dinged.
Oh my goodness.
Well, okay, but you're in the dark.
You're in the dark is right.
You're hiding in the shadows. Oh, that's your normal thing. I'm sorry.
Gary, we talked about you earlier, Gary. You are our vertical gray line performance guru. And we had some question about a flagpole antenna. Do you have anything you wish to share? Uh-oh, it looks like he's going to go find it. Maybe he's got it up. No, you're not in your new house, are you?
You're muted, Gary.
Yeah, no audio.
Let's see what Gordon's got
No
here.
audio. No audio, Gary.
Oh, he's got his V2 out.
How about now?
There you go.
No, sorry. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Hello.
What I can tell you right now is the one that I'm getting is the 28 footer, and they just started shipping those. And the reason why they just started shipping them is that like a lot of vendors, if you're not buying a million of an item, you go to the bottom of the bit bucket. And so they started machining their own hardware. And I mean, literally in the last week and a half or 2 weeks, they started shipping the 28 footers.
Who's the vendor on that?
At 28 feet, is that 28 feet above ground?
Yes, sir.
So how much is actually going in the ground? What's the sleeve?
There is a 4-foot sleeve that goes into concrete. The way I'm going to do mine, I'm going to pour it as if it were a light pole. I'm going to get one of those big cardboard forms and dig it out, put it in the ground, and fill in dirt around it, put the sleeve in and make sure it's plumb. And then I will let it cure, and then I'll put the flagpole in.
Robert had a question.
I'm looking for Robert.
Oh, I didn't hear the vendor name.
Gray Line. It's in Mark's got it up on the web page. Mark has it. Gray Line Performance. They've got a 20-foot antenna. They have a 28-foot antenna, and they just started building a 45-foot antenna. You don't have to get a flagpole. All of these you can get a vertical. But since I'm in an HOA, I'm going to get a flagpole, and it looks exactly like a flagpole, and it'll have a big honking 3x5 American flag up there on top of it.
So how much is the flagpole for 28 feet?
The 28 footer is $900.
Wait, it's all electronic
I'm
noise.
figuring I'll end up for the sleeve and I'm sorry?
All I was hearing electronic noise.
I may be standing too close to the Wi-Fi.
Better.
I mean, I'm looking at it.
Okay. So try it again.
Okay, so I don't know where it went away, but it's all antenna, 28 foot.
$900. 900. How much was it cost?
$900 for the antenna. And by the time I get a sleeve and get concrete in it and etc., there's going to be more costs there involved, but I've already got conduit run from my radio room in the new house out to where I'm going to put the flagpole in the front yard.
Okay.
And yeah, I overbuilt it. I put in I put in 4-inch conduit going out there, and that way I can put however much I want to going out there. Yeah. Yes, I overbuilt it.
And what about radials?
No radials. It's an off-center fed dipole inside the flagpole.
And you run legal limit on it?
Yes, sir. You can run 2,000 watts into it.
Yeah, it shows
If you've
the
got the
choke is
gumption, you can do it.
3 kilowatt choke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll have at the flagpole, I'll have a ground rod. I'll have an 8-foot ground rod there, and I'll have an antenna, a lightning arrestor at the feed point, and then I'll also have another lightning arrestor in the shack.
Question.
Hi, Mike.
On the dipole, you're supposed to have the feed line come out 90 degrees. Is that going to be a problem coupling to the coax?
Well, apparently it's not a problem with this. They actually feed it with ladder line, and the ladder line goes up inside the sleeve with the rest of the antenna. And people are having great results with it. And the pattern does not seem to be skewed when you look at the pattern. So, yeah. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful to have good results with it.
Oh, I hope you do too.
Yeah.
I hear how this works.
Question.
We'll have to have a net on 75 so I can talk to you all.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard a question.
Yeah, Gary, how far from the house is the flagpole going to be?
It's about my study is in the front room, and it's about 75 feet out to the flagpole.
Okay.
Well, Gordon dropped off, but also Gordon was showing his Nano VNA version 2.
No, it's not. It's not the Nano VNA.
Oh, that's not.
No, this is a new audio processor that I got from Sergey in the Ukraine. It's the version 7 of his audio processor, and it's really nice.
Yeah. I was looking at that.
It's all DSP. It has you can choose your input. You can either have there's an XLR jack on the back. You can have phantom power. You can switch to the front microphone jack. You can add a bias voltage so you can drive electric microphones, or you could go back to just regular XLR. There's a switch inside. You can enable it to have a 48-volt phantom power on the XLR jack. So if you want to use a large diaphragm condenser microphone or something like that, you can do that. And then you can see it goes through noise gate. There's also an echo processor, which I don't use, honest. And then EQ and compressor. And then off to your, look at the EQ there. It's kind of hard to see with the, but you want to change your 3 kilohertz as you.
Well, let's get that and hook it up to Randy's microphone there.
Well, you see, I've been wanting somebody to meet me on HF so I can tweak this thing. I spoke to a guy in Italy earlier today, and he said the audio sounded strange but not bad. And I was like, well, what does that mean? So I don't know. I'll persuade one of you guys to meet me on.
Well, what frequency do you want to be on?
20 meters, preferably.
Well, let's see here.
Yeah, your audio sounds a little strange right now.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with that.
Yeah, I figured it would be something to do with that. Hang on, I'll just refocus here. I want to show you the outside of it. Let's see. Focus.
Try 14270.
14270, yeah. All right. Well, I'll have to. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll have to hook this back up to my rig. But yeah, I mean, you can see like you got a monitor for headphones on the front, microphone jack on the front if you want to use a 3.5 millimeter. There's also an ICOM socket there because this is for ICOM.
Wow.
Mine is anyway. Got a XLR jack on the back if you want to connect a studio mic, and you got 5 volts in from a USB connector, and then PTT jack for to plug your foot pedal and hand, finger switchy, whatever.
For you real audiophiles.
Well, there's only so much you can get out of like 3 kilohertz, but we'll give it a shot. But yeah, what did you say? 20? Was it 14 what?
14270.
All right, I'll mute my microphone here, and I'll go get on 14270.
All right. Mute this.
Oh, I come across some news this week, Mark. Update for everybody.
Okay.
The International Space Station now has a new FM repeater. They've just got it hooked up. It's got an uplink and a downlink frequency. The uplink is 145.99 and the downlink is 437.80.
Have you listened to it?
Yep.
Have you heard anything?
I heard it sounded like somebody did a ka-chunk a couple of times to see if it was on. But I didn't hear anybody talking today.
How typical.
But keep in mind, you only can hear it, I would think, every time that they come over you.
Yep.
And you got a 90-minute window roughly, and you only have about 28 to 30 minutes actual good coverage if it's right over you.
30 minutes? Oh, I don't think you have that much time, do you?
Well, you got to figure horizon to horizon, and you figure you're going to catch it at 30 degrees to 30 degrees. Depending on what antenna and what radio you're using.
That ham clock app shows it, and it's to be able to talk to it, you don't have a very short window, about 10 minutes, I think.
That's what I was thinking.
A85GG, AG5BB.
Hey, whoa, there's somebody. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy, but we'll catch up. I'll send you a recording on your next go around.
Peter doesn't realize he's live.
Cool, awesome. Well, it's
yeah.
Roughly,
I'm listening out of Houston. I can't hear anything.
Peter K doesn't realize he's live.
I'm not sure if the noise is here and all the way it sounds or if it was maybe something to do with my amplifier.
Anybody else hearing Gordon?
Mute him, Mark.
Can anybody not hear Gordon?
There he is. What's he sound like, Gordon? Or Phil?
There.
What were those frequencies again?
14270.
You're talking about the repeater?
No, he's talking about the space station.
Yeah. 145.99, that's the uplink. And 437.80 is the downlink. And if you got you a good outdoor antenna or one of those that you can aim as in your hand, you could talk through it.
Yeah, that my little $10 tape measure antenna should do fine for that.
Oh yeah, easy.
We've done it. Peter and I have done that before.
Guys, I got to bug out of here. I'll see you all later. Or see you actually Saturday, I guess.
See you Saturday,
man.
See you Saturday.
Peter.
Bye.
The tape measure antenna will work for both the 7 and 2.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, guys, I got a computer technical question for you. I've been fighting for half a day this afternoon trying to get WSJT working with Grid Tracker. And on WSJT, I keep getting an error. And it says that ham lib error, IO error while opening connection to rig. And I've tried every setting in that stupid thing.
Connection to rig, is that what you're trying to say?
It's yeah, IO error while opening connection to rig. That's the error I get.
So how do you connect to the rig on that one?
From the rig to the USB in the computer. And you could set that up on the settings. I mean, when you put in your radio, when you put in
Randy. Call
yeah.
CQ Randy. Randy.
What?
Got a grid tracker question. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Randy, that WSJT program.
Mm-hmm.
When I put in the radio I've got and the settings, and it sets up all the parameters, and I click the what's it called, the little section there where you hit the test the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I get the error message, IO error while opening connection to rig. And I can't get it to work. When you're looking down at where the frequency is supposed to be in that box down there, it's all red with zeros in it. On the screen, and of course the grid tracker doesn't show anything on there but the maps.
Right. Well, grid tracker is not going to work until your radio's going through your computer.
But I've done everything in the settings I can think of. Like I said, I told it the radio I have, and it's supposed to auto set all that up for you. But something's not working. And I got a cable that plugs right into the back of the radio and plugs right into the USB port on the computer, and my sound cards is working just fine because I hear it clicking up there on the signal link.
And you're getting audio out of your computer into your radio?
Do you have the baud rate set correct, Mark?
That's the next thing. You need to find out what baud rate your radio is working off of, and you need to set that in the configurations correctly too.
Well,
oh my God, it's 1978 all over again.
Well, when you set up when you tell it what radio you have, it automatically sets the baud rate for you.
What radio do you have?
It says it's at 4800.
What radio do you use?
I'm using the ICOM 718.
You see, my Yaesu runs at 38,400.
Well, you know, you can see on the screen on the WSJT, you could see contacts on the left and 2 or 3 or 4 on the right, but you could see a whole bunch of contacts showing up on the left. But it keeps giving me
the audio. That's the audio coming through, right? Not the control.
You're talking about it's decoding stations?
Yeah, it's showing this list. It's listing stations on UTC time and message and frequencies and stuff like that. It's showing that on the screen.
Well, that's normal. It's just not connecting to the radio. It's not handshaking to the radio. And still yet, even though that came up and said the baud rate was 4800, you may need to go into the settings on the radio and make sure it is set at 4800.
How you do that?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with your radio.
You'll go through your menu on your radio and find out, and you should be able to get different. 4800 is extremely low.
Okay, I'll have to
that. Because I think mine only runs at 38,400, and that's what I've got the WSJT set for in the configurations. And of course, I can't do that with this laptop and have Zoom going at the same time,
right?
Because I've got to turn off the audio to pick up everything, and the microphone's got to go back into the radio. So I'd lose everything.
Virtual audio
Zoom.
cable.
So basically, what you're saying is that the baud rate is different from the radio and what the computer is saying.
Right.
Yep. Here's on my screen, you'll see something from QRZ that a guy said he's got a 718, and once he's set the 718 for 9600 and WSJTX config to 9600, it's working. So I'm thinking they're right. That I don't know what the say what it.
I still think that's
718 says there's an auto and a high setting, but the auto baud is never a sure thing. Boy, that brings me back to the 80s, doesn't it?
So it sounds like you need to set them both to 9600 and you should be okay.
Yeah. Where's Ken? Do you remember how to set the baud on that?
Okay, it's a there's a button. Hold down one of the buttons and turn it on with a button held, and I'm not sure which one it is now. I'd have to look in the book. But
I'll just have to go back to. I'll just have to go back and look.
It's just you go into the major setup menu, which is you power on with another button pushed and held, and it goes into the main menu, and you can go in and you can get into the deeper menus and set those things up. Otherwise, you just hold the set button and look at the more common things. But something like that, I think you'll have to get in the main setup menu.
Yeah, does it mean something to you on the screen, Ken? ENT button and ENT 5 will get you 9600. Is that enter? Is that the ENT?
Yeah, I'll just have to go back and read the manual. But
it's on the screen right there. It's on the screen if you want to look at it, Mark.
I'm trying to pull it up right now, and
don't you just hate that to have to go back and read the manual?
That's terrible.
Well, the bad part is having to admit it in a group.
It's being recorded.
I have no trouble. I have no trouble admitting it.
I have no trouble admitting that Mark needs to read the manual. No, I have no trouble. Where's Ken? I didn't see Ken sneak in.
Yeah, pretty sneaky there.
Yeah, you were. Did you do anything good for the country this week? Did you go down half in frequency again?
I stayed out of trouble. Still testing.
Back. Did you get your audio set?
Hmm?
Is it lovely?
To me?
Yeah. I heard Peter and you and Peter were getting after it.
Yeah. Apparently, when I switch my amplifier on, it sounds like I have a plate reverb. So I guess I'm overdriving it or something.
Hook up your drum set.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's I don't know. Yeah, Peter recorded some stuff, so I'm waiting to hear what that sounds like. But yeah, I guess it was all right with the amplifier off. But when I switched the amplifier on, it was Sounded like I was going through a reverb.
Well, that didn't work.
Lee, you're muted.
It didn't work, Mark.
Changing the.
You
Were you able to change the bond rate on the radio?
Like I said, I'll have to pull the book out. Something I'm not doing exactly right.
Gordon,
My 7300, the baud rate's 115,200 radio.
Yeah,
Talk to my computer.
like on my Yazoo, it's 38,400. So,
Gordon,
This shows 9600's top baud.
Yes.
it sounded like you were over driving.
Yeah, that's kind of what it probably.
Yeah, I kept trying to get in, but every time I talked, somebody else would. So I didn't know anybody else was meeting you there, and and then all of a sudden I couldn't get to you.
Well, I probably, like you said, probably overdriving it. But
That's the way it happens.
I was barely hearing you.
Well, I was going to try turning on the amp or whatever to see if you could, but never mind.
Since we're kind of on a remote control subject here, last week was asking about remote control for my 7300, and everybody recommended. Well, I say everybody. Mark recommended the what is this? Win 4 ICOM.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got it installed, and I can do everything. I can do everything from the computer, except I cannot hear the radio on the computer.
Carl?
Yes.
Any thoughts?
Oh, mercy.
Does that takes the audio through there? Does it bring it through the USB?
It can. I don't run mine that way. Oh, yeah, on second thought, I do. Look at what it's using for the speaker for that program. Probably the best thing to do would be to, on your computer itself, on the screen, go down and right click on you're running Windows 10, right?
Yes.
Go down there and right click on your little speaker icon in the lower right hand corner of the screen, and if you've got more than one choice for speakers for your audio, or I should say, do you have more than one choice for your audio?
Well, this is a Dell computer, and it goes to this Dell. Wait a minute, wrong. Let me try this one over here. Let me try the Windows one. Open sound settings. Try this one and see what this is, the Windows one. It's got all this Dell stuff on there too that I, control panel stuff.
Yeah, mine uses a different speaker or a different audio program for the Win for ICOM than it does for everything else.
And I think you can assign the outputs of the 7300, like if you're on sideband, it sends it out one area, and if you're on digital, it goes another way, doesn't it? Isn't there an option on that? I remember looking at Ralph Moulton's, and Bill Baker and I pulled our hair out.
Not like it ever does any good, but I'm going to do the Windows troubleshooter here and see what happens.
Mark?
Yep.
If you want to get into that menu, it's you power on while holding the set button.
Okay.
And then there's a CIV baud rate when you scroll through the variable, the selections that it avails you, and you can put the correct baud in for whatever you're trying to do, I think. I'm still looking a little bit. I'm not really looking at the manual because I'm doing this from a file online. You have the manual, so I'm safe.
I never thought about a PDF doesn't count, does it?
Truth is, that should have been set to match FL Digi. It should have been running.
But if it's just getting the audio, it could be decoding the audio.
The default on that is auto, and it could be there if it got reset.
Mikey waving at us.
I'm looking at it here. The CIV bot, it comes up, but I got to figure out how to see what it is.
And the other one that's important is to change the address. Be sure you have the right address. That can be adjusted apparently. So
on the computer side, you mean the COM port address?
There's.
Okay.
Well, there's a new Jonathan with a brand new call.
Looking at the Echolink stuff right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got a buddy up there as in South Dakota that I just recently found out he's an operator as well. So kind of trying to touch bases with him. This is all brand new to me, so I'm trial and error.
The Echolink stuff is cool. You have to prove to them that you're a ham.
I already did. Presented my call sign and they verified all that.
Oh, that's usually the hard part. Good job.
So, question with that, I'm still a little bit confused with the Echolink stuff. Let me get this on my face here. So my grandfather is in Arizona. Now, if he's got a repeater that works with Echolink, can I touch base with him from here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd be able to talk back to me?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Just through his normal. Now, would he have to go through Echolinks as well?
If his repeater is hooked up to an Echolink node, then he should not. Larry here runs a bunch of those things connected up, and if he's got it hooked up, you should be able to from here. Do you know what repeater it is? You could just dial it up and you could actually key it from here.
I have just started looking into it today. I'm going to get that information. Hopefully I'll have it. Let's see here. Let me see if I can.
What city is he in?
He is in Apache Junction.
That's right there by Phoenix.
Oh, well, it didn't work.
Is that the computer for that 9600 also?
Yeah.
I'll
look at it again, but
I started to mention earlier, this may not be pertinent, but it's possible that once you change the baud rate, you may need to reboot the radio, power it down and power it up.
I did that. Mark, where is that? Let me look at that again. The computer. Where's that baud rate in the computer? The only one I saw was on the sound card.
You probably have to set that on the serial port, on the Windows serial port stuff.
Device manager.
Right. Let's see.
Okay, I'm looking at device manager.
And find your COM ports. Do you know which COM port it's assigned to?
No, it's actually hooked into USB.
Yeah, that's but it should create a COM port for you.
Still a COM port.
I don't see any COM port listing on the device manager. None listed whatsoever.
In ports, it should say ports, COM, and LPT.
No.
Well,
nope.
While you're looking at it, is everything turned on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, while you're looking at it, unplug the USB cable and then plug it back in and see if it shows up. While you're looking at the device manager.
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second.
I have 2 COM ports on this machine. I have
Look for
no
something
idea
to change when you plug it back in.
Yeah, I have no idea what either one of those goes to.
I wonder if he has Windows 10 Home, he may not be able to see the ports. I don't know.
Is this a laptop?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's desktop.
Nope. Desktop. Find node numbers.
I can see my COM ports through device manager.
Yeah.
And I'm Windows 10.
Are you Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro?
Shouldn't make any difference.
Wait, I'm Windows 10 Home. I didn't pay anything for it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
you
just
did.
throwing that out there because I've never had Home. I don't know. I know that it doesn't have all the stuff.
Got all you need.
No, you need more. More is better.
Did you get it working, Sam?
Nope. No, I've got.
Okay. My suggestion would be to contact the guy that wrote the program, Tom.
Okay.
Send him an email. He usually responds in just a few minutes.
Okay.
And he knows everything about it, and he'll be able to solve it probably in 2 minutes instead of us, going, because it could be multiple things.
Well, I've got the sound working. I can hear through my headset, and the microphone's working here. It's just not getting to the radio, and vice versa. The radio's not getting to the computer, and the computer's not getting to the radio. So, audio wise.
Yeah, just send him an email, and he'll either answer it on the email or else give you his telephone number so that you can just talk to him direct.
Okay, will do.
All right, everybody, I got to run out for feedback. Be back if y'all are still on.
All right, we're here till 9, so take your time.
Okay.
No luck. I checked it. No place on there does it show a baud rate on under device manager for me.
Did you find the COM ports?
There's not a COM port listed under device manager on mine.
That means
It's not.
it
It's
hasn't
not.
found one.
It's not using a COM port. It's using a USB port.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's got a USB audio codec.
to get serial, you're going to have to turn that into a COM port. Because I think that's how that works.
No,
to talk to
no,
the
it says
radios.
it says up there under the settings for the WSJT, the serial port is a USB.
I think it still assigns a COM port.
I think it has to.
It does assign a COM port, but it has to see it first. Sounds like to me that it
Yeah.
could be a driver issue.
I agree. If you unplug the serial cable and plug it back in, and you have device manager opened up, you should see a change, and you should see which port it is.
I do not have a serial port cable plugged into the computer.
No. You don't need one. The USB is a serial universal serial bus is the USB. So the serial port is created when you plug in the radio.
So when you plug in your USB cable, you should see it in the device manager.
I don't see anything other than under universal serial bus controllers. I got a whole list of those. And then under the sound, video, and game controller, I've got a USB audio codec. But there is no COM ports listed anywhere on this listings.
So I've had lots of problems with my interface cable, my USB to serial interface cable, when it comes to getting the right drivers, because sometimes it doesn't even show up in Windows 10 until you find the right drivers, the software drivers, because Windows 10 sometimes doesn't have a compatible driver, especially if you unfortunately get a hold of one of those Chinese made cables.
But if you plug it in, you don't see anything change. Do you have it the other end hooked to the radio?
Yep.
And then plug it into your computer. You don't see anything make a noise on your computer or show up. Device manager doesn't flash.
No, it doesn't. Nothing comes up. Nothing does like an exclamation point or anything saying that doesn't have a problem with the driver. All of mine are good all down through the device manager.
If you open up the one that says ports, see it says ports, COM, and LPT.
Nothing listed on there for ports, COM, or LPT.
Okay, so
there's a
doesn't even
printer's
show up.
one. But
print queues.
Got that.
Should be right above that as ports. So you're not even.
No, mine says network adapters.
Okay, that's right between them. So
that's why it's not working. You don't have a port made.
Should be right after network adapters.
Right.
There's no listing. Because I've only got one cable coming from
is your
the radio to the computer.
Is your camera a USB camera? The camera that you're using?
Oh, I'm on a laptop here talking to you guys on Zoom. It has nothing to do with the computer sitting over there that's doing the
two different computers. Yeah,
two different computers. Because the only camera I've got is what's on this laptop.
Okay. Well, what you might do is while you're looking at that computer that's in question that does not have a port showing, is plug in something into that USB and see if it shows up.
Try a different port.
Plug something else into it some other USB device and see, because between network adapter and print cues, you should have one that says ports.
My mouse is USB, the keyboard's USB.
Okay.
I mean, I've got everything that's plugged in is all USB.
Okay, but the keyboard and the mouse are separate.
I don't have anything else I can think of to plug into it.
Well, unplug the mouse and swap the mouse for the radio connector. Just try swapping those.
Evidently, it's not seeing the USB device that he's plugging into it.
Yeah, that.
Okay. External drive connected.
Ooh, there you go. Now you got there.
Yeah. And the device manager's making its little adjustments and everything.
Now you got it. Sing it, sister.
Yeah, but guess what? There is nothing between network adapters and print cues.
Okay.
Nothing. Everything is exactly what it was before.
Can you use that cable to now look at a drive? Can you look at that? Does it show up on your files, your computers?
Well, nothing's changed from what it looked like a minute ago.
Did it? If you go into File Explorer, does that hard drive show up and you click on it and see folders on it? I think that's what Mark is asking.
Yep.
Oh, I just unplugged the cable from the radio that was into the USB port. I just switched it to another USB port.
Right.
And nothing changed. Everything looks the same on the device manager.
But it did show up. It did.
It showed up over here. It popped up a screen over here on the right and said that the external drive was hooked up.
Yep.
Which was the radio. But it doesn't change anything here. Nothing's changed. USB audio codec is set up and ready to go. That's what it just said. Well, that's
way to go, Mike.
Okay, but there's no baud rate setting for it.
It might not be finished setting it up. It may be 2 or 3 or 4 of those.
No, it just got the one USB audio codec. That's what I had a minute ago. Says the device is working properly.
Just pick one, see if it works.
Nope, still get that error. Let me try something else. I'll keep getting that error.
You know, it's interesting. I'm sitting here looking in the device manager of mine, and I don't have ports listed anymore either. I'm running Windows 10 version 1909. Now, I did find my USB ports, and they're under human interface devices. And that's where you can find your USB input device. The problem is that it won't let you change any of the settings because Windows knows better than you do.
Right. Yeah, see, it won't let you, there's nothing in there to set for baud rates or anything like that. And I just clicked on every speed I could do on the baud rate in the settings in the WSJT. Gave me the same error on every single one of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never noticed that before. There used to be in Device Manager a whole section that said ports.
Right.
Yeah, only if you have a US or a serial port attached, it pops up. It hides it if it doesn't.
Not anymore. Thank you,
Mine's-
Microsoft.
Well, mine's here. If you can see
I'm
my
using
screen.
I have Windows 10 and I have COM ports.
Right, but it depends on the version of Windows 10 you've got. Because Windows 10 has been out since 2015.
And this camera that you see me on is a USB camera, and it shows up in there under ports, set up for COM port 1, since it's the only USB device that's plugged into this computer.
So which version of Windows 10 are you on?
I don't have a clue.
Well, if you click on the start button and click on the gear and go into settings, and then click on system, and there's an option that says about, it'll tell you what version you're on.
Mine that I've got that radio hooked to is a Windows 10.
Yeah, what version is that on?
Let me look.
Just curious.
Let me look.
Well, where do you see the version at? I see the build. Oh, here it is. Version 1909.
Okay, well that's weird because I'm running 1909 too, and I don't see ports.
Yeah, but
I'm
you don't have
running.
anything installed.
I'm running Windows 10 Home version 1903.
Yeah, but I've got COM ports involved or on my machine, and
need
it
to get
shows
the
on the
20th century.
screen that there's 2 COM ports, and I don't have a clue what they're hooked to. Is the right answer.
Well,
Will it not make a port unless you assign something to need a port? Otherwise, it won't make a port. That's
Right.
why
you have
some
to
are.
have something. You have to have something plugged in before you see a port. So
Oh,
that's
I have lots of things.
might not be recognizing it if it's not showing a port. So if you have Device Manager open and you plug a USB device in, it should show up in there. I haven't tried a USB stick. I might try that.
Yeah, it won't. I'm trying to think. I've got 2. It says I have 2 serial jobbies on this machine. I don't know what they are. Got about 20 different USB things hooked up.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, you still get that computer open?
Yeah.
Okay, you still have Device Manager open?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go up to the top and click on View.
Okay.
And click on the option that says Show Hitting Devices. When you click on that, there'll be a port option pop up in the menu. It was hidden.
I remember that now.
Yeah, but it'll unhide if there's something assigned to it.
Well, I don't know. I've got all kinds of things. I've got something on COM4 right here, and it was still hidden.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I don't. Nothing.
You don't see any ports?
I got under portable devices.
No, right underneath where it says portable devices should be an option that says ports, COM and LPT.
Nope. Mine says print queues.
Okay. Well, then your computer is not seeing the device. Otherwise, it would create one.
Well, okay. It says it sees that USB when I unplug it from the one that's going from the radio to the computer. I unplug it, plug it back into a different USB. It says there it is, but it's just a USB and it's listed under.
If you do a right click on it, does it have properties?
Well, let's see. Let me find it again. Trying to remember where it was. Because it was the USB. See if I can find it.
EchoLink test server.
Yay.
This server records your transmissions and plays them back to help you adjust your transmitted and received audio. Please feel free to connect.
Okay, USB audio codec.
Is that what it says?
Yep.
You do a right click on it?
Yep.
And is there any other buttons, drop down windows that might show a port or anything?
Nope. Just says update the driver, uninstall the driver, scan for hardware changes and properties.
Okay. Down at the bottom, under USB, universal serial bus controllers, does yours show anything down there? It'd be next to real close to the bottom.
Nope.
Universals. Did you click on view and show?
Yes.
Show devices?
Yeah.
And you still don't have a universal serial bus controller down at the bottom?
Yes, I do.
Click the down arrow next to it. See what you see.
Nothing.
I've got all kinds of stuff here on.
Well, I mean, I got a list of USB serial bus controllers, but nothing to do with the
Sorry
radio.
for interrupting, but I'm going to head out.
Okay.
Yep. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I about run out of suggestions here. Have to let Mark do it, I guess. Where you at, Mark?
I'm here. I just, I'm listening. You got all the right answers.
Ooh,
what are we
boy,
talking
it's
to?
lighting pretty good here too.
What are we talking to? What's the other end of that connector? The radio?
Yeah. It's a 8-pin serial bus, 8-pin that plugs into the back of the radio.
So it goes straight into the 718, right?
Yep.
Is that the cat controller port? Do they have two ports?
Now you're going to have let me look. I don't know if I can stretch over there to see that or not.
Carl's got all the lightning by him. Look at that.
Wow.
Hey, hold on a second.
Is that real-time lightning there, Carl?
No, that's a background.
It's not doing nothing here. It all split and went around us, which is fine with me. I mean, I've got things to do.
I know what you mean.
Rather than pick stuff up in the backyard?
Yeah, I did go and sweep out and prepare the storm shelter today, but don't want to have to use it.
I was going to do that last spring and never did get to it.
Well, we just got this new storm shelter, so now I've got to build a bench, couple of little bookcases in there or whatever, shelves, to put some stuff in it.
Okay, Mark.
Yep.
What we've got here is there is a cable that runs from the radio to the signal link USB, and then from the signal link out to the computer.
Signal Link doesn't control. That's not a smart box, is it? That doesn't do CAT.
No, it does USB. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, but all it does, Signal Link, doesn't that just do audio? I don't have one of those.
No, it actually connects your radio to the computer.
There's a CIV cable, the remote cable on a CIV to a computer. And then you have the accessory jack to the signal link, and then the USB to the computer. So you're feeding the computer in two potential controls in reality, because you're using the accessory jack as well as the remote jack. You might try taking the remote cable out and see if it runs through the signal link correctly.
What do you mean?
What the remote gives you is the ability to tune the transmitter, the transceiver, from your computer. But do you need that for this function you want now?
No, I want to be able to for the radio to talk to the computer.
I mean, to set frequencies or to get audio?
To get audio, because that's the only way that the WSJT works.
Here's the thing: a signal link will run your digital modes without that CIV remote cable. What it won't do is set the frequency on your transceiver automatically.
Right, which is
in other
fine.
words, if you're playing in FT8, you have to put the frequency in manually on the radio if you don't have if you don't have that remote control cable.
Which is fine.
But pardon?
Which is fine. It's just not it's saying that on here that the IO error while opening connection to the rig. It's an IO error.
Okay, well, it sounds to me like
what I'm suggesting is you can do digital without that remote cable.
Turn the CAT off, in other words.
And I'd take that out and simplify your setup and see if you get signal link working completely by entering you'd still have to match the frequency on the radio with the VFO knob, but see if the computer gets happy with it that way. You're fighting with two ports probably, and the software might not know which port it's playing with. I don't know. It's just a thought. Because you can't, if all else fails when you've got a complex setup, put the simplest setup together you can and make that work before you add the second layer. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but
okay, the cable that comes out of the radio, just plug it direct into the computer instead of going into the signal link, is what you're saying?
No, the signal link has the signal link has its own cable that plugs into the accessory jack on the transceiver.
No. Well, right. You're right. It does. I've got a cable coming from the radio, going up and plugging into the signal link, and then I've got a cable for the one coming from the signal link. Looks like a printer cable end on that end, and it goes down to a USB in the other one.
It's a USB A to B.
Yeah.
The B end is like the printer end that plugs into the signal link, and then you plug in the standard USB cable into the computer.
Right.
And then you're also plugging in, and I played with that before, but you've got the remote cable.
I don't have any other cables.
Don't you have
No.
Don't you have another USB cable going? Because you got it when I sold you the radio, it was hooked up with it.
No, there's only two.
It's a
There's only two.
CIV to USB cable. It plugs into the back on the lower right. If you're looking at the back of the radio, that's your remote jack. And it goes from there to the computer.
No, I've only got two cables hooked up.
Okay, so you did not hook up that other, you had that other cable when you left with the radio.
Well, I've got one that goes to, I know, oh, I've got one that goes to the tuner and one that goes to the signal link. And
okay, the signal link only needs one cable, period, to the radio.
It's right. It has the 8-pin on the back of the radio that plugs in the bottom right. That's the gray cable or the white cable.
Okay, you don't have a cable. You don't have a cable plugged in next to the speaker jack on the back?
No. Yeah, I've got that round one, the 8-pin.
Yeah, take it out. Take it out. That's a CIV connection. That's your remote connection. That could be that you could be having trouble with the two USB data paths.
Okay, so
in
how
your software?
Okay, so if I unplug that's going up to the signal link, how do I communicate from the radio to the computer? How is the radio? How is the audio from the
accessory jack? It gets it from the accessory jack. Everything you need to run digital is there. You just don't automatically operate. When you go into your digital mode softwares, it asks you if you have a cat control, and that's what that cable gives you. But the software that's giving you trouble might be messing with you. Like I say, if you simplify and make it work that way, then you can add the next layer. Take that cat control cable, the CVI cable out.
I don't believe he has that CIV cable connected. He was talking about the 10-pin when you were talking about the other cable. I think you're both talking about different cables.
Well, there's one cable that goes from the radio straight to the computer. That's the one I want to remove.
Okay, I unhooked that cable that went from the radio, the round one, to the to the signal link.
No.
Now I've got nothing going from the radio to the computer. Nothing.
Okay. You have to have a cable going to the signal link from the computer. I'm sorry. You have to have the accessory jack on the back of your radio has a, it looks like a Cat 5, I think, if I remember correctly, cable on one end, and then around 8 or 10 pin, 13 pin, whatever the accessory jack is, on the other end.
Let me look. Hold on a second.
And the other cable looks like a USB-A on one end and a 2-conductor 1/8-inch phone jack or a headphone plug is what it looks like.
No, sir, I don't have it.
Is that the audio?
No, it's your cat control. It's
Cat
what
control,
turns changes your tuner. It lets you control the radio from the computer.
That's exactly the one he's missing.
And it is, that cable has a 1/8-inch round plug that looks like a headphone jack that plugs in the very right-hand lower jack on the back of the transceiver.
Which I see that jack, but there is no
cable.
There's no
cable. Remote jack.
Okay, there's no cable.
You don't have anything in the remote jack.
Nope.
No. Well, you got it somewhere. You don't have it on the radio, so that's not causing your problem then.
Well, but that's the
I
cat
assumed that it
controllers
was
when you're
wired the
missing.
way it left.
No, I had all the cables hooked up when I carried it off. I didn't carry any,
Right.
so it wasn't
Well,
with it.
that one in particular, the quote remote, is what does cat control for your transmitter, your transceiver. And it allows you to set the frequency on the computer, and it automatically transfers that to the radio. Then if you don't have it there, then you're in the simplest mode. You should have one plug going to the signal link from the accessory jack on the computer.
Well, I've got it
And
from the
then
USB, from the USB to
and
the signal link.
USB going from the signal link to the computer.
Right.
I probably said that wrong.
Well, okay, it's a printer type adapter on that signal link, and it goes down to a USB on the back of the computer.
Right. That's right.
You leaving, Robert?
That's everything you need. Now, there is a signal link. There is a signal link driver, I think.
Well, no, my signal link, it was connecting to the computer until I unplugged that. I mean, it's hooked up because it clicks. You can hear it click when I'm doing stuff on the computer. It was connecting to the computer. Just it's connecting. It's shaking hands just fine. It's saying that it's not.
The other one looks like a data cable on one end, and then it's got the 13-pin plug on the other for the accessory jack on the transceiver.
See, the accessory jack on the transceiver, the one that has the 8-pin or so, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Was the cable that was on it when I got it, that was plugged into it, that went up and plugged into the signal link.
That needs to be there.
Well, I just unplugged it from the radio because you said unplug it.
No, I was talking about the other one that I thought you had plugged in.
No, the only two I had plugged in was the one that went into that back of the radio, that 8-pin, up to the signal link. And then I had the other one running from the signal link down to the computer. And that's the only two I've got hooked up.
Okay. Does the software you're trying to run assume that you can control the radio from the software? In other words, does it need to control the radio to do what it's going to do?
It makes it easier. It's probably the right way to say it. Yes.
That's your WSJTX software?
Yeah.
For now, let's not try to control the radio other than the data that transfers, the audio that transfers for receive and transmit. In other words, when you go into settings and you go into radio, do not have it in cat mode.
No.
Have it in Vox mode.
That's what's in it. That's the way it's set up. It has always been in Vox mode. It won't even let me set it up for cat mode. And I put in that radio rig as an ICOM IC9718. It said automatically PTT method was Vox.
That's good. Is Vox turned on your radio?
I don't know.
If that's the case and your Vox level is set correctly, it should transmit. And that's where your transmit level and your, anyway, all right.
But when I hit the button down on the bottom of that settings where it says test the cat.
Well, you cannot test the cat if the cat is not turned on.
Yeah, if you don't have cat.
Technically, you can test it, but it'll fail.
You would test it.
You may have a box check somewhere that thinks it has cat.
Oh, okay.
You would test the push to
Because
talk.
cat is what goes to the remote cable.
I give it.
Okay, I get it.
Loud.
Somebody's got a radio on in the background.
Yeah,
Well,
that's Larry. I got him. I got you, Larry.
I'm quiet here, but
No, it's Larry.
It made it hard to listen to the madness.
No. Yeah, the cat does all the controlling, and the audio does the audio. The Signal Link does the audio, and it does PTT. Probably does PTT via Vox, maybe. Okay. So Wayne, did you understand all my stuff? I saw you on chat. 1/4 inch is good size for your guys.
Yeah, I did. The one question that I had was that because it's going to end up, this G5 RV is going to end up being as an inverted V. I was just curious how well that was going to work anyway. Because the middle is going to be up about 45 feet, but I'm thinking the ends are going to be up about 20.
G5RG is junk. Don't ever use it. It'll work just fine. I'll take it. It changes the pattern, and it'll change the impedance a little bit. And you're going to be a tuner, so the impedance shouldn't be a problem. And the pattern.
So does it change the pattern from stripes to plaid or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I understand that.
You are the first one to understand. And pattern changes are usually gain. It might lobe in some place that it didn't before, and since you have nothing to compare it to, it doesn't really matter. But it will be different. Probably the biggest difference, a G5 RV with the ends lowered will change the impedance, but you're going to tune the darn thing anyway. So who cares? Just tune it a little differently.
And if it doesn't go the direction you want, just spin your house.
Yes. Move to Michigan.
Yeah. I'll keep it in mind, Mike.
Well, get one of those $1,000 flagpoles that Gary's got.
Yeah, hook it to Carl's antenna. You're pretty close over there. You're just on the other side of the river.
Curious though that in the way that I've got it oriented, it's going to be broadside east and west, which is where most of my signal is going to go, which
That's a good thing.
is kind of general with the dipole anyway. But
you mean the wire goes north and south?
Huh?
You mean the wire goes north and south?
Correct.
What Ken said. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
What Ken say?
You want it broadside to Europe if you can.
Yeah, well, I'll try. Who knows? Maybe I'll even blow the dust off my toaster and see if I can light up the skies.
Woohoo! Have it hooked up for next week, and we'll listen to you and give you a bunch of crap.
Depends on the weather.
Well,
It's raining here now. You guys got rain yet?
It went right around us. Kind of broke up and went around us.
It says here.
I don't want to be hanging on to a metal pole when it's lightning.
Oh man, use rubber boots. There's a QRZ thing I've got on the page, probably hard to see, but it says sure the G5 RV can be installed as an inverted V up into clear, but that will shift the tuning a bit and require changes to the element lengths, the matching section, or both to get a good match. And that's what tuning it a little bit different is. So yeah, it should be just fine. If it tunes wacky, change the height a little bit. Maybe lower is better than high when you're tuning it. I've used a million inverted V's and they work out just wonderfully. And
inverted V is a pretty good antenna.
Yeah, easy to put up, and
yeah,
and you only have one high spot, and you put the coax up the poles, so it's good and supported.
It's a good antenna for a field day setup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been beta testing some new modes that's going to be on WSJTX. I think they're going to be released this fall. I talked to Joe Taylor yesterday, and we're just about through with our beta testing. It's got a noise blanker in it that we've been working on. Seems to help.
Good. You mean the software has a noise blanker?
Roger.
I had to let that sink in for a bit.
Two new modes. One of them is going to replace Whisper, and the other one is a two-way digital mode that will replace things like JT9. And as far as I'm concerned, FT8. FT8's good for quick QSOs, but it doesn't get down in the noise very good. I've been working on the noise blanker with Rudy, who is on the Oregon coast, and he's transmitting 500 milliwatts on 2,200 meters. I'm decoding him about a -35, and I have the noise blanker set at 8%. That somewhere around 8 or 10% looks like is where the noise blanker is going to have to be set. But that new program is really getting down into the noise good. So
35 dB. Wow.
-35, yeah. That is that's a 5-minute transmission, 300-second transmission.
How much data does it go in that?
That's what we're testing. It's a whisper type program. It's called FST4W, and you can set the transmit time from, I don't remember the low end, like 15 or 30 seconds all the way up to 1,800 seconds. Got a 60-second, 120-second, 300-second, which is what Rudy and I've been testing at 300 seconds. That's a 5-minute transmission on 2,200 meters. So that new mode, it'll be the same thing. It'll be the WSJT package with 2 new modes added to it.
Yeah, same software, just more different.
WSJTX suite with 2 more modes added in there. And I think they're going to we discussed taking the JT65 mode out, which we don't use. Nobody uses JT65 on HF.
I think I turned it on once.
Yeah. We used that. That's what we used on Moon Bounce, JT65.
Oh, is that where it was?
It's a wider, it doesn't have the narrow bandwidth like JT9 or even FT8. But I could copy signals off the moon down to sometimes -30, mostly -28. Good night, Andrea.
Going to bed? Call it a day?
They've been working all day. Or they told me they was anyway.
I got all the way to the top of the tiki hut and got the bridge cap on. So.
Good. Did you get it going, Mark? N5AZQ, Mark, did you get it going?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just shut off the settings in there for what type of radio I had back to none for now. It's showing contacts on that WSJT.
Yeah.
But it's
audio. Yeah.
it's showing context, but over there on the tracker, the grid tracker, it's not coming. Nothing's coming up.
Well, I've never used Grid Tracker, so I don't know.
It's pretty cool, really. It's a companion to the WSJT. That's what it is, and it's not showing the contacts on there like Randy had his working for field day. I just don't know what I'm not setting up here correctly.
In reporting, there's a server that you have to set up in there, and I don't know what that setting would be for Grid Tracker because I've never used it. But if you go click on reporting, you'll see a place in there that may not be set up correctly, and you may have to go find that out from Grid Tracker information.
Okay, there's reporting. I'm looking at that. And
so it may be down at the bottom where that secondary, that UDP server thing is.
Yeah, it says server name and address, and it's got it in there, and server port number, it's got it in there.
So you got to make sure you have the right server port in there for your Grid
That's
Tracker.
to report it. That's to report it back up to Daddy somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I know about that.
Okay. So Grid Tracker, the program Grid Tracker is bound to have a place on it there where you can check to make sure it's got the right.
Well, find out what the port is for Grid Tracker, and then put it in that location in WSJTX. Have you ever used JT Alert?
No.
Do you do FT8?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Well,
that's what I'm doing right now on the WSJT.
Yeah. Well, there's a JT Alert will it'll, whenever it decodes and all of them pop up on the screen, it'll tell you what state they're in, what country they're in. You can set it up whether you've worked it before. If you're trying to work all states, you can set it up where if a state comes up that you need, it'll alert you. You can even set up at one time I had on this other station, I had 2 sound cards in it, and I had JT Alert set up so if a state come up that I needed, audio voice would come out and tell me that state is on the air.
Okay. I'll have to play with it some more. I'll have to play with the different settings.
Sometimes the bells and whistles are the hard part to set up.
Mm-hmm. It's got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's raining pretty good here right now. Lightning too.
Boy, send some of it up here to Piedmont.
You didn't get any rain up there, Sam?
Not a drop. Looks like keeps looking like it's coming, but it never quite gets here.
It's raining cats and dogs here, and it's lightning pretty good too.
Man, there's one little cell up there. It must be your house.
Temperatures all the way down to 59 right now.
I got the windows open, but I still want rain.
It went from 88 down to 59.
Turn off my air conditioner here so it doesn't let the.
Well, I pulled up the lightning map and it's not showing any lightning close to us. That's a good thing.
I'm seeing some down Ninnakaw, south of Chickasha, down that way, but nothing. Nothing up here.
Well, I'll pull up lightning tracker here for me. And
Back to information on the G5 RV antenna. I posted a link to the best information that I have seen on a G5 RV. I put a link in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I'm going through there right now. Some pretty good stuff. Interesting that they said the SWR is really high on 17, but I guess that's where a tuner comes in.
Yeah, you may not be able to tune that according to that chart, but
According to that
cares
chart,
about
it's like 10 to 1. That's pretty steep.
That's 17s for the new kids. Us old guys don't need that.
So I want to ask, what was that flagpole antenna you all were talking about earlier?
Graylineperformance.com.
Grayline Performance.
I'll build you one for less than 1,000.
Yeah, I bet you would. It's supposed to be an off-center fed dipole, isn't it?
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you feed an off-center fed dipole from the bottom?
You don't. It's got a ladder line that goes up the thing and feeds it away up.
So you don't feed it from...
Well, you put a coax at the base, but it runs a feed line up or a ladder line up a ways.
So the lateral line is running parallel to part of the antenna.
Yeah, I think so.
Instead of going at right angle to it.
I think so. I think so. Let's see.
There it is. I just figured something out on Zoom when if you leave and come back, all the chat's gone.
Yep, that's true.
My laptop died and I had to come up here and plug in, and now all the chat's gone.
What do you need? You need
anyway, it
anything
was
from
just
there?
a bunch of arguments.
Nothing really, but just a new Zoom thing.
Yep.
Hey, Mark.
Yep.
Don't you record these sessions?
Yep.
Does it record the chats?
No. No, it doesn't. It just shoots them over to YouTube.
Speaking of chat, the new guy, KD5CAE, put something in the chat, and I didn't see it till just a little bit ago, talking about different repeaters that I guess that close to his area.
I shot it. He's your neighbor.
Yes, I realize that.
Okay.
Also,
He's I sent him a message in the private chat that explains stuff.
oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Hey, see you guys next week.
Okay, Mike.
All right, Mike.
Be good, man. Stay
Glad you
out of
get
trouble.
Mike.
I'll try to catch you on 10 meters if it's open tomorrow. It won't be.
Optimist.
Storm coming through. Ken, look at my screen. You can see there's a little isolator section that they've got. And they got ladder line going up. But I can't figure out how close that ladder line is to the ground.
Yeah, I can't tell either. Looks pretty close to the ground, doesn't it?
I'm thinking it might be right behind I don't know, right behind that box, maybe. But they've got that little ladder. Looks like that ladder line comes through. And then there's a fiberglass isolator there that does something.
Did he say that that one was 25 feet or something?
28 feet.
28. Yeah,
28.
28 is one he got.
Does it show SWRs on particular bands or anything? Man, no radials, 160 through 6.
For $1.
I don't know how you could do 160 on a 28-foot antenna.
47 footer's only $1.
What? I don't think so.
To do 160 meters on a 28-foot antenna, you have to have a big loading coil.
I don't see. Well, there's the whole parts kit
If
right
you're going to
there.
match. If you're going to have a match. Wow.
That looks like shrink wrap, doesn't it?
Yeah. Big shrink wrap.
Yeah. Like it maybe goes over that whole joint.
Mm-hmm. I can't see it real good, but
I can't either. I'm here.
I don't have any trouble using 160 on an antenna shorter than that. It's got perfect SWR.
I can do it.
It's a can with some oil in it.
I can do it on a dummy load. So that's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. Is yours a can with some oil in it, like mine?
Yes, I have one of those.
Yeah, it's special oil.
Yeah. It's 160 meter oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Fried chicken oil.
Yeah.
I don't see any SWR stuff. Okay, low losses. Here we go. If you count 160. It's a short antenna one for 160 and will only work if your tuner will take it there.
Yeah. If you can, tuner will do 10 to 1 or more. Maybe there's a I take it there's a balun between the ladder line and the coax there, huh?
I would guess there has to, and in that picture, that picture had a little gray box. I don't know if I can find it back. They had a little gray box. There it is. That one right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, they don't really want you to see much of that stuff. That little gray box, I'm guessing, is the balun.
I think it. That must be right. Such a mismatch, that thing better be able to handle a lot of power.
Well, it's like, I think they call it a 1500 watt. What do they say? Yeah, I can't wait to get them in, have it get installed and see what happens.
I thought it was interesting. He said that his would be installed 75 feet from the house.
Huh?
He said his was going to be installed 75 feet from the house.
He's got it in front, I think the front yard.
75 feet from his radio room.
Yeah.
75 feet from the house would be a good thing. That means his house is back from the road.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get away from the house is the goal.
Yeah, get that antenna away from the house. Pick up a lot less noise.
Yep.
In your.
You're the worst problem of your own noise problem.
That's right. My
flagpole could be in the backyard.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
Wouldn't have to be in the front yard, Ken, would it?
No, I can't remember where he said he was putting it. If it was in the back, but the goal was to get it away from the house. That's exactly the goal.
My vertical is about 200 feet from my patio, and that gets it away from all this noise that's generated in the house, like modems and computers and all of that crap.
Yep.
My router is pretty noisy.
I imagine. I imagine.
What you have to say, but I really appreciate everyone's concern.
So do you guys bury your coax, or how do you run it to your house?
My coax is 200 feet. It's inside of 1.5 inch PVC, and I've got some control wires going in there so I can do a remote tuner from inside the shack. And yes, you should put it in some PVC underground. That way the gophers can't chew it up.
Gophers.
That's what I was kind of thinking about doing, was running it through PVC, because I'm going to have a run of about at least 100 feet. I haven't even measured that yet.
That's a good thing. Get that antenna away from your house and run that coax underground.
Yeah, and I think, well, actually, it's going to be more than 100 feet of feed line, because the antenna is going to be about 100 feet away from the house. So I'm probably looking at 150 feet of coax. I mean, I got some RG213, but I was still thinking about running it through, burying it through PVC, like what you said.
What I'm doing. I'm doing 213 inside of PVC.
Yep, because the first
do you have one
don't do
continuous
that.
piece, or do you have a coupler in there?
I have one continuous piece. If you can do that, it's a good deal, because you don't want any splices underground.
Splice underground, you know where your problem's going to be.
Yeah. But I would run some, I don't know what you're planning on doing on your vertical, but mine's a 60-foot vertical made out of 4-inch diameter irrigation tubing. And I have a tuner out there so I can tune that thing. I'm using it on 630 meters and 2200 meters, but I originally built it for 80-meter vertical, and it's resonant on 80 meters with no matching device. And then I had a loading coil for 160 and a way to tune it remotely. You can build a remote tuner, put that vertical on a lot of different bands, and you can build your own instead of paying $1,000 for one. What band do you want to work? Wayne, what bands do you want to work?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to somebody else about the vertical. I actually, obviously 20 meters, but I kind of wanted to work 17. That might be a stretch with this antenna, but interesting enough, it says it even works on 80 meters, although it's a little bit short.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've read, it actually uses part of that ladder line to run 80 meters.
So this is a G5 RV?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Well, you're doing the right thing by getting that antenna as far away from your house as you can. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah, fortunately, I've got a little land back there. Once the bands come up, I like working 15, and I've even worked some 12 before, but once the bands come up.
Man, when the bands are in, you can work 15 with anything.
40 meter antenna works good on 15.
Yep. I had a 40 meter delta loop that worked 15.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business.
Yep.
I have worked some 40.
Well, I'm going to have to get out of here, guys. It's after
Brett's
9
back.
o'clock.
See you later. What do you know, Brett?
Ken, before you go, I've got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I have a antenna rotor controller, and it got some water in the line, and it got into the back of the controller, and it barely touched one of the circuit boards, but it caused it to apparently it's the power, the board that controls the power to it, and now it won't even come on. And I just wondered if anybody actually, or you, Ken, would might be able to help me figure out what it is is wrong with that and why it.
What kind of rotor controller is it?
It is a high gain DC U-3.
What you need to do is try to get a schematic. I can't see it because you have a background image of it. That's okay.
Yeah, let me see.
Anyway, do you have a schematic of it?
I'll check.
You need to go online and get a schematic.
Yeah, I think I do.
You say it won't even come on when you turn the power on?
Yeah, it won't come on, and I checked fuses and stuff.
Yeah. So it got a transformer in it?
I believe so. Yeah, it would, because a transformer to power the.
Yeah, that's a good looking controller. DCU3, is that the number on it?
DCU-3 by High Gain. Programmable automatic rotor controller.
That's a nice one. Well, I'll look on the, I'll try to find the schematic and look at it. See if I can. So which one of them connectors did the water get in?
This one here.
Okay.
The other ones go to the computer equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one for the multi-wire one that actually controls the rotor.
Yeah. The rotor cable that goes up to the.
Yeah. Yeah, the rotor cable.
I'll see if I can find that schematic. And are you on QRZ.com, correct email address and all that?
I believe so.
I've got your call sign here, Carl. I'll see if I can find something and send you an email.
Yeah, let me check to see
I can work on circuit boards and stuff if we can get a schematic.
I don't know what that would be. It's got a 110. I think that's a different one. That's a fancy one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. But what I don't understand why it won't even come on, like fuse. But he said he checked the fuse. But maybe the diodes in the power supply might be knocked out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I'm not technically good enough to test for stuff like that.
Yeah, you will be here in a little bit.
I hope so.
We'll get you there. It's 110 controller, so it's got to have some kind of power and transformer. It's a digital. I was thinking it was just a regular dumb controller, but
yeah, I would say it's got a transformer in there and some diodes, regulators.
Huh. I had never seen that controller.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
computer control. You know what
Yeah.
that means? You can
Yeah.
control your azimuth and
That means
stuff with
another
a
USB
program.
discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can control the azimuth and elevation
Eat your Wheaties, Mark.
to track the satellites.
Yep.
Yeah, it should work real well with my 9700. Yeah, that there was a package deal with a tail twister 2 rotor, and it was just about the same price for the rotor by itself. So I bought a couple of them. One of them I'm using right now, and then this other one got water in it. Went the
you got one to
entire
test
length
against.
of that control cable and got into the shack and dripped into the controller.
You always put a drip loop and you cut a notch on the bottom of the drip loop.
Well, live and learn. There's
That's
one in
right.
there now.
That's right.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
Okay,
See
thank
man.
you,
Be
Ken.
good. Thank
Hey,
you.
Ken.
Talk to you guys later.
I'm out of here too, guys. I will see you on Saturday morning.
See you on the air.
Yep. See you on Saturday.
Strictly a virtual meeting on Saturday.
As
I
far as we
assume-
know.
I don't know why we wouldn't, because nobody showed for the others, so and nothing's changed. But oh well.
I know Lee, before I go, I know Lee took a poll tonight to see who would come and who would, but he never said anything else about it. So I assume it's still virtual
Yeah.
until the Norman City Council makes their ruling.
Well, Norman will let us do it. Yeah, they may change something, but it would be just, the problem is it would change to something like no more than 25 or 10 in a group or whatever it is. But
yeah,
shoot, we wouldn't have more than 10. I think there was 11 there last time. So
pretty much
it, you can have the meeting, but nobody will come. So
just going to have to get everybody get out of their comfort zone again, get back to where we're meeting again.
Well, I'll come.
I would too. So, let us know if it changes, Mark.
It'll be in the newsletter.
No, I meant by Saturday.
Oh, by Saturday? Oh, I don't think it can change anything by Saturday. That doesn't make any sense. But
and we need to talk about it again. You might put on the agenda to mention it Saturday whether or not we want to resume the Elmer nights at the fire station or not.
I haven't had anybody express an interest. Let's say that. But
all right,
we'll see.
Well, I'll throw in a little interest. I've got that nano VNA that I'd love to have somebody show me how to use. I don't know how to do that on Zoom, but
oh yeah, we
can
do that as a scars or as a presentation for October. That'd be a good one.
All righty, y'all have a good
guys.
night. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Yeah. See ya. Let's see what's left. Who's left?
And then there were 6.
And then there were 6, all the boring ones. Brett, how's Austin going? I guess you're running out of light down there in Austin. It looks like it's getting dark. See you, Larry.
Yep, it's dark here.
You gonna set anything up down there, or are you just gonna do D-Star?
I've got my 746 set up here in the apartment. There's a ham that works where I work, and he's got a roll-up antenna that he's going to let me use. So we'll see how that works.
Is that an ICOM 746?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a good radio. I like that. I got a 745, which is the predecessor.
Yeah, I got my HF radio here. It just doesn't have an antenna hooked up to it yet.
Yeah, we've got a guy. One of the guys here in the club is in a apartment, and he's worked out a deal with the apartment complex to hang stuff from the trees, and he's got antennas out to a couple trees and back into his apartment, and he's worked all over the place with that silly thing. So you can still do a lot where you're at.
Yeah, yeah.
Nifty.
Hey, just out of curiosity, you guys know where I could pick me up a cup of 6146Bs? Does anybody still do tubes?
Yeah, Conrad does them.
Well,
6146Bs.
I need a couple of 6146Bs and a 12BY7A. I've got a Kenwood TS530. It's my all-time favorite radio.
Oh.
And right now, it's been in storage for probably 20 years. But the last time we used it, we actually used it on a field day, and it was working really good. And then all of a sudden, it just it wouldn't receive and wouldn't transmit. And I know that it always had a little weak transmit on it. So I'm just thinking of replacing the tubes if I can find some.
Well, there's,
let's see is that a match set there? Or is that just one?
Hang on, where'd it go? It says it's one tube in its original box, so that's only one.
So I know that I Googled it before, and you can get them anywhere from $20 to $500, depending on how bad you want it.
Here's a pair.
And then for whatever reason, I know that you can get some, they call it a match pair that's already been burned in.
Yeah.
But of course they always want more for that. Well, is that on eSlave?
Yeah.
I haven't done business with eBay in a long time.
Oh, me neither. It's probably been at least 6 or 8 days.
That's 6146A.
Oh, you got A's?
I got B's. But I don't know what the difference is. And supposedly there's supposed to be a like a bulletproof Russian version, and they don't call it 61. It's 6146, like W or something like that.
Conrad Warren, you know Conrad?
I know Conrad, yeah.
He's the tube god, and
does it come with a story?
No. Oh God, yes. With Conrad? Oh my God. Nothing doesn't.
Which is okay. His stories are kind of cool. They just
it's awesome.
Go on and on.
Yeah. But he knows all about the Russian stuff. I told him I got mad at him one time and I said, "Listen, Conrad, just make your own damn tube and quit bitching." And he said, I thought about that. He says, "I build glass machines out in California. I was thinking I could make some tubes." I thought, oh jeez.
So I like the 530 because it's a little more tolerant of SWRs than my other Kenwood 140. My Kenwood 140 just says, ain't gonna do it, and it cuts back on the power, like a transistorized one usually does.
Yeah. Is that other tube you need a 12BY7A? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Here's a set of all three of them.
For $60. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. NOS test good.
New old stock is NOS, but
what is it?
New old stock, which means it's still got packaging on it.
Is it like an oxymoron, new old?
Well, who you calling a moron? But but the it means it's a new tube that been sitting on the shelf for a long time.
What do those things have, a shelf life?
No. If you drop them, I guess it'd be
as long as the glass stays sealed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It says test good.
I'd like to get the thing out and blow the dust off of it and hook it up.
There you go.
Like I said, that's my favorite radio.
You then you ought to. Now here's the question. This tube thing isn't going to fix your receive problem, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, will it not? I mean, because doesn't the driver tube have something to do with the receive?
Usually not. The driver will drive these two tubes. I don't know how the 530 is done. So, that still might be a good deal and you still might need tubes. Full stop.
Well,
you said you lost the receive and the transmit. That sounds more like a capacitor or something in line.
It always had a weak transmit, and I figured that it was probably the finals. But the receive, the signals just kind of faded out into static. Now, could it have been something else with the radio, or could it have been the band just went dead? I don't know. It's been so long ago, I can't even remember.
Yeah, you just need to put it back on a generator and try it.
It's been packed up in bubble wrap for 20 years, like I said.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get it out. Fire it up.
I'd get it out and fire it up and just see what happens. Start a whole thing over again. A whole.
Because the thing about my 140 is I like it because it's all the tuning is just slide your dial over. There's virtually no tuning. But I don't know. I wish I hadn't been such an idiot whenever I was younger and got rid of my HW 101.
Yeah, you can get them back.
Oh, well. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bail out also.
All righty.
Enjoyed the conversation. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, I'm back. Telephone rang. I answered the microphone and pushed the wrong button on the telephone and all that good stuff. It's like, oh, you can tell it's getting late.
Well, it looks like we dropped below our quorum.
I think we're getting there. We can now start talking bad